There is a truth that not many people tell you. As you get older, swimming well is no longer about being strong or fast. It's about whether you can still hold the water or not. If you're over 60, you may have already noticed something very real. You still go to the pool regularly. You still move your arms. You still breathe. You can still swim a few laps. But your body gets tired faster than before. Your shoulders feel tighter. And that feeling of the water, it's not really there anymore. Today, I want to slow down and sit with you for a moment to talk about the 4 phases of the arm pull in swimming, and more importantly, how to maintain continuous water pressure throughout the entire movement. This is not a technique for young competitive athletes. This is a way of swimming that helps older adults swim lighter, longer, and more safely. Before we go deeper, I'd really like to know, when you swim, which part of the arm movement feels the most difficult for you? Leave comment number 1 below and let me know. When we talk about the arm pull, many people think of it simply as the moment when the arm pushes water backward to move the body forward. But for a body over 60, that way of thinking is no longer enough. Swimming science shows us that real propulsion doesn't come from brute strength. It comes from maintaining steady water pressure on the hand and forearm throughout the movement. Phase 1. The catch. The moment your hand enters the water, you are in the catch phase. At this age, this is where many people lose almost all efficiency without even realizing it. The hand touches the surface and immediately drops down. The elbow collapses. The palm never really talks to the water. It feels like placing your hand into empty space rather than into a resistant environment. But if you slow down just a little, you'll realize that the water is not weak at all. The water is dense enough to support you, if you give it the chance. In the catch phase, the most important thing is not pulling, but placing the hand in the right position to hold the water. Biomechanics calls this early vertical forearm, but I like to say it more simply. This is the moment you let the water know, I'm here and I'm going to hold you. When the palm is slightly angled downward and the elbow stays a bit higher than the hand, you begin to feel a very gentle but clear pressure. For older adults, this sensation is especially important because it reduces stress on the shoulder joint and spreads the load more evenly across the forearm. Many studies on swimming in older populations show that keeping the elbow high early on helps reduce the risk of tendon inflammation and chronic shoulder pain. Phase 2. The pull in front of the chest. This is where rhythm is created. If the catch is the moment you connect with the water, then the pull in front of the chest is where you build a relationship with it. Many people over 60 still pull the way they always have, fast, straight, and hard. But at this stage of life, the body no longer likes sudden, jerky movements. Instead, imagine that you are hugging a large volume of water in front of your chest and slowly pulling yourself through it. The arm moves along a soft, curved path, no sharp angles, no rushing. The water pressure should feel steady and continuous, as if you were gently leaning against a soft wall. When the pulling rhythm slows down, the nervous system has time to adapt. Breathing becomes more even, and the heart doesn't have to spike suddenly. Physiological research shows that for older adults, slow and controlled movements improve cardiovascular efficiency more than fast but unstable ones. In other words, swimming slowly and correctly can make you healthier than swimming fast and incorrectly. If you're listening right now and suddenly realizing that you often rush your arm pull at this stage, leave a comment saying, "Okay," just so I know you're truly listening and connecting with this message. Phase 3. The push past the hip. As the hand moves past the chest and continues backward, we enter the push past the hip. This is the phase that produces the most force, but it's also where many older swimmers lose water pressure the most, not because they're weak, but because they let go too early. I've met many long-time swimmers who say, "I feel tired at the end of the stroke." In reality, they're not tired. They're simply stopping their connection with the water before the pull is finished. When the hand passes the waist and immediately relaxes, the water pressure disappears. The body loses momentum and the rhythm of the stroke breaks. At this stage, the key is not to push harder, but to finish the movement. The palm still faces backward, The forearm still feels the water and the elbow does not lock. The correct sensation is when you feel your body being gently carried forward, not when your shoulder feels strained. From a scientific perspective, this is when the latissimus dorsi and triceps are working the most. For people over 60, using these large muscle groups is far more effective than forcing small, sensitive shoulder joints to do all the work. When you extend the push fully, you allow the big muscles to work for the joints. And that's the secret to swimming longer without pain. Phase 4. The release and transition. After pushing the water all the way past the hip, the arm needs to leave the water to prepare for the next cycle. This is the release and transition phase. It may sound simple, but for older adults, it requires more subtlety than ever. Releasing the arm is not about yanking it out of the water. It's a light, relaxed movement, almost like an active rest. As the hand exits the water, the shoulder softens. The muscles rest for a brief moment, yet the swimming rhythm remains unbroken. Continuity lives here, not in keeping the hand in the water at all times, but in maintaining an unbroken flow of movement. Rehabilitation specialists often emphasize that for older adults, transitions are where injuries are most likely to happen if done incorrectly. A gentle release protects the shoulder joint while keeping the stroke smooth and breathing easier. When all 4 phases are connected smoothly, you begin to feel something very special. The water is no longer something you fight against. It becomes something that supports you. And that's when swimming turns into a form of moving meditation, where the body and the mind both slow down and listen to each other. When you understand and truly feel these 4 phases of the arm pull, you don't just swim more efficiently, you swim with respect for your body. Maintaining continuous water pressure is not an advanced technique. It's an attitude of patience, awareness, and acceptance of a new rhythm of aging. If this video gives you a new perspective, or simply helps you feel that you're not alone on this journey, please subscribe to Vital Health Hub. Here, we don't chase performance. We learn how to live healthier, slower, and more fully, one breath, one arm stroke at a time in the water.